And welcome back to the show. Habitat NYC is a not-for-profit housing developer that's working with both government agencies as well as philanthropic donors to offer hardworking New Yorkers a hand up, quote, and not a handout. The organization helps families to build equity, financial stability, and self-reliance through affordable home ownership and financial education. Here now and sharing more about the work that goes on at Habitat NYC is the Vice President of Government and Community Partnerships and also the Vice President at Habitat for Humanity in New York City and Westchester County. I should also include Westchester County. Katrell Lewis. And Katrell, good to have you.
It's nice to be here. We don't want to forget about Westchester County.
Man, no. That's listen. That was home for a while for me in Westchester County. And Lord knows they will definitely write and call and let me know all about it. But so great to have you, and great to have you talking a little bit about Habitat NYC. And when we talk about your organization, really an opportunity to provide affordable housing and then also home ownership for so many people.
Right. So Habitat, one of the questions that I get all the time is, where is Habitat in New York City? So Habitat New York City and Westchester County has been in the 5 boroughs and now Westchester since the late 80s, 1989. And one of most people know about Habitat from President Carter. President Carter's first Habitat project that he actually built on was in New York City. And just last year in 2020, we expanded our outreach to Westchester. So that's, the small history of Habitat New York City and now Westchester County.
Yeah. And when you talk about Habitat, one of the things that comes to mind first for anybody is the ability for people to actually have home ownership and also affordable housing. And the two go hand in hand. So give me a little bit about how you really put people on the path to home ownership.
Yeah, so Habitat for Humanity, New York City and Westchester County, we are a developer, right? So we ensure that we are building home ownership in the 5 boroughs and again now in Westchester. And the idea is, it's a crazy notion, but it's a belief that everyone who wake up, who are low to moderate income New Yorkers, who run this city, who get on a train and make sure that they are, taking the train out of the conductors and, low to moderate opportunity to own a piece of New York City if they choose to. Low to moderate income New Yorkers shouldn't be priced out of New York City, shouldn't be gentrified out of their neighborhoods. We have a history of building affordable home ownership in New York City, and we should continue that legacy. And New York and Habitat New York City believes that it's an equity issue. We need to ensure that where communities that we are building in, generally Harlem, in the Bronx, Southeast Queens, Central Brooklyn, these are communities where Black and brown people are being gentrified out every year. And we need to ensure that the anchor that keeps them there is home ownership.
And when we talk about home ownership is very critical. And we look at the path of home ownership across New York City. It's very hard given the fact of skyrocketing home prices. And if you're trying to pay rent, we know that the rent is ridiculous. We know how it is for anybody to be able to really substantially live in New York. And so part of what you do is really giving people that path in a more easier way. So talk to us about the path and talk to us about what you do by way of home ownership and affordable housing in that regard.
So one thing that my responsibility is with community engagement is and community partnerships is when Habitat has sites open that we can, communities can apply for some of our homes. We ensure in my department that we are in a community months before that we are there connecting them with some of our colleagues that might not be Habitat itself, but might be some of our home ownership counseling colleagues to make sure that people have clean credit and that they are able to, when a marketing starts, that they are not denied for credit issues, that they understand all the responsibilities of being a homeowner. We develop single family homes, but we also develop co-ops, and we used to also develop condos. So we are trying to ensure that we are giving all the tools through our community partners to make sure that communities know that we're building in their community. But then our mortgages are extremely more affordable than what is on the market, which ensures that people have the tools to becoming a homeowner. Habitat ensures that the only way that we're able to really build the homeownership in New York City is to partner up with the government sector, partner up with the philanthropy sector. We partner up with HPD in New York City, but also with the state to ensure that all the subsidy funding, all the government funding that we are receiving brings down the mortgage price for our homeowners.
Yeah. And so as we talk about this, we know that this is a path to really neighborhood revitalization. That when you build up homes one at a time, and as you said, not giving people a handout, but a hand up, it really impacts the neighborhood. Talk to us about what you've been able to find in the work that you've done in the houses and the homes that you've been able to have people settled in.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just take most of the sites that New York's Habitat, New York City, and Westchester County is able to develop on, and they are city-owned land. And these plots of land are generally dilapidated, have not seen any development on these sites for decades. And Southeast Queens, for example, we have partnered up with NYCHA, where NYCHA, the local housing authority, has done a request for proposal to develop. We're in our third phase. We've done about 40 to 50 homes out in Southeast Queens of developing homes that no one has lived in for decades. So whether it is on city-owned land that has been dilapidated, or abandoned properties that we have to rehab or completely gut or demolish and build up, what we're seeing is we're giving people a chance. In Central Brooklyn, for example, we have a huge pipeline that we are really developing in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy, and that ensures that we believe that our pipeline is going to be serving over 100 families in just one community. Whether that is in Southeast Queens, think about the homeowner who is affected by this home that has been dilapidated and owned by NYCHA for decades. Their home is depreciating because of that home next door no one has lived in. Habitat coming in and really rehabbing that home ensures that the community is nicer, there are neighbors next door, and your property value goes up. That's the value that Habitat has really done, whether it's on the land side or on the rehab side.
Yeah. Katrell Lewis, we got to leave it there, but so much great work that's being done by Habitat NYC and also Westchester. Thank you for giving us some enlightenment. And of course, we'll look at 2022 to see how some of these projects are going forward.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. And I would just ask your audience to watch out for Governor Hochul's signature, hopefully, for the Affordable Housing Corporation bill. This will be a huge investment in homeownership from a state level. We look forward to Governor Hochul signing that bill.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see how it goes. And of course, when she does, I will definitely have to have you back and get your reaction on that one. Thanks much.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Thank you.
All righty. Well, one of our viewers to know, if you want more information, listen, you can visit their website at habitatnycwc.org, and then also follow them on Instagram and Twitter at habitatnyc_WC. We have more show coming up. Don't go anywhere. Open continues coming up in a few.